we're into a Cabrakan. So Cab is going to be one of those characters that. Well, by the way, really quick, I just want to mention this. I know there was a huge Titan talk today, big patch notes discussion, blah blah blah. It wasn't a patch notes officially. I will do a video once the patch notes actually come out, detailing everything. I think it might actually already be out in a digitized format. When I get a hold of it, I'll do a video, so don't worry. We'll talk about that though later. But yeah, Cab is going to be a character you're going to be seeing probably a lot more. I kind of want to take credit for that, but I have been saying for a long time. I think this Cab pick is very, very strong in the solo lane. And yeah, as a result, you should play it. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. Magical damage, really good in solo because magical defense items tend to be a bit weak. And you pair that with strong laning phase, great safety, great matchups into top picks. Cab kind of has everything. So yeah, really
That
good.
guy was literally just
Uh,
trying to stop me from killing the archers, except for the part where I killed.
nice. I gotta mute this guy though. He's like super loud on my end. I hope he's not too loud on the recording side of things. But yeah, one thing with Bellona that's so great, and this is what has kind of gotten me to be a bit of a Bellona enjoyer, is her level 1 is just so good. With the aspects, with the block stacks, all that stuff, that you can actually begin to set yourself up pretty nicely in a lane. I mean, we're not like crazily ahead or anything, but we got what is it called? That initial back camp invade, and that's not nothing, right? It's not incredibly strong or anything. I won't pretend it is, but it's the beginning of something good, and I think we're going to progressively be able to improve that. So, slight little lead. Again, I think what you're going to notice into these lanes in general when you're playing Bellona is we're going to be playing very fight heavy. Unfortunately, Bellona is kind of very single in terms of her approach and how you take a lane, and that's you kind of have to fight. A lot of that's because of her passive, where you're getting increased protections and whatnot upon getting, stacks, which, of course, you get those stacks from auto-attacking targets. Could just be minions, but generally speaking, yeah, you need to be fighting people. So if you fall behind early, you're still typically having to be fighting, and if you're in a losing matchup or the matchup feels bad, you're still typically going to have to be fighting, or else it's going to be even worse. Which I know sounds a bit weird, but that's just sort of the Bellona way. So I do say that, like, you kind of have to be prepared to die on the sword a lot of the time with this god, and that doesn't make her intrinsically bad or anything. It just means that, when things aren't going good, a lot of the times they can continue to stay really bad. And I think that's why, like, overall this pick's not amazing, but she's fun, so no problem. You don't max the 3 on this god, no. So maxing the Scourge on Bellona was a very Smite 1 thing to do. I mean, you are still able to in this game if you do want to, depending on your matchup. I think generally speaking, though, you'll find maxing the Shield Bash feels great. What I would say with Bellona and Smite 2, to be fair, is I think you can max anything that's not the 2. You should effectively never use the 2. It's just terrible in this game. It's very weak. The scaling is garbage, and yeah, especially with aspect as well. Yeah, it's just no bueno. So you want to max the 1, be my guest. If you want to max the 3, also okay, realistically. But most of the time,
I literally use my beads.
I forgot to mute this guy because he stopped talking. That's okay. NP. My Vulcan is never out. Okay, you saw that? That's funny. Let's go into Oboe. So this is a bit of a unique start. Bear with me on this. We have this axe. This is spillover. Don't worry, we will get not rid of this axe, but we'll use this axe into something. I think this high attack speed actually might be really fun because it's gonna give us really good procs either on our Scourge or our 1, just because we'll have consistent auto refreshes. Whoops. Which will be pretty helpful. We could have just went Chalice and tier 1 Sunbeam Bow as well. Or not Sunbeam. Odysseus Bow. Excuse me. As for Sunbeam Bow on this god, can you go it? Yes. Should you? I don't really think so. I think generally Sunbeam Bow on this god feels like okay. I mean, the item's so good that you can always go it. He's in trouble here, by the way. Wait, what are we doing here? Ult the 1. I did not play that well, but I mean, he's like super dead, so It's all good. Why is he super dead? By the way, he has no fast, because remember, he backed for a chalice, so we're totally safe. He's super dead because... I lied. No, that's bats. Okay, I didn't lie. Yeah, he just, like, stood up too far. If you're building damage rushes in solo lane, I kind of think of it as, like, a great way to get exposed both sides. Both of you are riskier, means both of you will die, or at least be squishier. And, yeah, you gotta make sure you're on top of your trades if you're both doing damage starts, because if not, that kind of happens, and falling behind to a Bellona, not great. Yeah, I mean, that's like, this is the perfect situation for me, so I'm very happy with this. We're going to take it back here. What's the value in maxing the 1? So I actually need to wait 30 gold because I didn't pick up the other tower thing, so I'm a bot. So the value here, quite frankly, is that your reflect damage... excuse me, not your reflect... How do I show this? Here we go. Your base damage is higher, right? Literally just that. But that's enough. Unironically, that's enough. I think what you're going to realize is in a lot of these trades, you want to actually just stay in your shield bash. That's it. So when you're staying in your shield bash, like, yes, the Scourge, having the extra healing, blah, 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 is really nice. But if you're staying in the shield bash anyways, it's kind of whatever. You're going to have the Death Soul healing. Oh, the scaling thing made no sense. I was like, that's not how scaling works, but... yeah, it's literally just that initial hit of damage. I mean, again, you can max the 3 second, as you should. But you're going to find, especially in a matchup where you're hitting the guy consistently, like, getting that shield bash off consistently is very good, obviously, right? And the damage is going to feel strong. Now, if you're into, let's say, a magical soul laner that's a backliner, like a, you know, just any majorly, you might not be able to shield bash in as much, so then maxing the 3 could be okay. To be honest, I don't play enough Bellona in that situation because it's not a good Bellona situation, so I would try to avoid that in the first place, right? You want to kind of play this god into characters you can actually hit. But I guess that would be, you know, fine at that point. So again, as you're seeing, like, the oboe is just a little bit of, obviously, the procs of the thing, which is fun. Remember, we're not bludgeoning, so effectively we don't have... I think we just kill him here. Yep. We don't have, you know, effectively AoE autos. That's awkward. So, feels pretty good. Again, that attack speed really is nice to help us just get more Death's Toll, everything, all those things. I probably could have just went a, you know, a Chalice and a tier 1 bow. That's probably what I should have done. It's all good, though. First item here, I think, again, you can go a lot of different directions. This isn't our first item. Sorry, I'm all over the place. We're going to go like another damage item, though. That's the point. We're going to go tier Fing. So, cool. And now we get to use this tier 1 axe here. Again, should I have just went the Chalice first? Yeah, probably. My bad on that. He went Pendulum. Again, I think Pendulum on Cab is like the way to go, generally speaking. That being said, if you are building Pendulum on Cab, you are really setting yourself up for a lot of potential trouble because... Hold up, he wants to fight here. Because you have damage, right? So if you have damage, you have a lot of kill potential. Obviously, the cooldown reset's a big deal. But you also have a lot of death potential. So, again, it goes both ways. It's very momentum-based as an item, and I would typically say on Cab, if you are a little bit less comfortable with the character and the auto-attack resets and just trading in general as a soul laner, just rush Phoenix Shield. You'll be much... happier and much more consistent on the god. So yeah. Good tip. Also, like, Helm of Radiance, really good item. Also quite safe. Not a bad thing to rush as well if you're not a big Pendulum enjoyer. So, there you go. I just gave you 2 free ideas. I could also just go Braggies here, which I'm debating. Thing is with Braggies is I don't have the intelligence value on this character. It's still fine to go, but I think if I'm going to choose one, I'd rather go tier Fing. I want to go Aerosbow eventually, but I'm not doing that yet. We'll go a defense item here. Go a couple of defense items, and our last item is probably going to be Aerosbow, or like somewhere in between. Not our last, because I'll be grouped, but that's our last like attack speed, not defensive item is going to be Aerosbow. And yeah, that's that. I mean, nothing too crazy in this lane. Again, it's just like standing your ground, fighting, understanding that you got to kind of die on the hill, and thankfully this game it's going well and stuff. I think for every good Bellona game, or maybe every 2 good Bellona games, there's one that just quite doesn't really work out. But yeah, I think the biggest tip that like I just kind of like absorbed when I was playing this character and improving with her in Smite 1 was just that concept of like you really have to stand your ground. If your fight looks bad, if you stick to it, you have a chance to win. If you like play this kind of in and out style like you would on a god like say Hercules or say Guan Yu, where you're going on the back line, then backing up, going on the back line, backing up, or kind of getting caught in this like middle point, you're just gonna feed. It's really all about yeah, about just sending it. I'm being like super what is it called? Fucking circle talking here, but there's nothing else to say in this lane. We're just owning. Alright, we hit him. He's dead. Poor guy. Team's a little tilted, I think. They're throwing up surrender votes and stuff. We'll see what we can do, folks. W patch or what? Honestly, I haven't like read this stuff too closely to like have a great opinion. I'm gonna make a full video on it. I'm not trying to like deflect, but I'm gonna make a full video on it when I have like a better read for the whole patch. But I mean, look, I think people are gonna over-exaggerate one way or another. I think the concept of changing anti-heal from like a fixed number amount to actual like buffs and nerfs that like stat bonuses is really cool actually. I think it's a really cool concept. Balance wise, is it gonna be like super good? I think it's impossible to tell. Like when it's just numbers on a screen. Usually with like game system patches in Smite, I think you have to like see them play out unless they're like unbelievably like ridiculous. Then you can kind of tell how it's going to go one way or another. But usually, like I remember when gold got reduced as a whole on Smite 2, a lot of people were thinking that was going to be really bad for the game. Even I thought that was going to be really bad for the game, and the game ended up feeling completely fine, and I think everyone adjusted pretty easily. So yeah, I wouldn't say that like this system change is going to make the game feel like alien and bad. I look at it as, look, we're finding a way to get more active items in the game. Right now, most solo builds don't use active items. That's objectively a win. The big thing that I would look for is not actually this patch, but the reception to the balance of the items in the following patches. So one thing that I think Hires has done a really poor job with in Smite 2 is balancing active items. I think they're really cool, and I really like the approach behind them as, you know, being this like new thing that Smite 2's marketing as one of the patented differences between Smite 1 and 2. But every time an active item is good in Smite 2, it's because the stats, the base stats of the active item, are unbelievably competitive, if not better than regular passive items, and it has a really good active. And they've over-nerfed active items consistently by nerfing the base stats and the passive of the item, rather than just nerfing the base stats. Perfect example is a Gargoyle. A really fun item, was really good, really interesting. I think it felt great for solo, had a good counterplay, but the stats were a bit too strong on the item. All they had to do was nerf the stats on the item. Pridwin's another good example. And then, as a result, what did they end up doing? They just gutted the active item and gutted the stats, and it's completely unbuildable, right? So, I think that's like what you have to look at as you know, will they continue to do those types of things? If they do, I think it's going to be really sad. When you look at Smite with like team beads, I think they did a really good job of like, okay, we slightly nerfed the active item, but we really targeted the base stats of the item, and that was a much better balance shift than what they did with Gargoyle. So like in my opinion, I think they should bring back Gargoyle, the active item component of it, completely back to its original form, and just keep the nerf stats of the item, because you want active items to be strong, impactful, cool, unique, and noticeable, right? But if you have a cool, unique thing attached to an item, the stats of the item shouldn't be good. It's a really easy way to balance them. Super surprised they, you know, like, kind of messed it up in the past. They haven't as much recently. It's just like, you know, they haven't really touched too many active items, or really items in general, so you never really know. We'll see. Remember when I said stay in the shield stance? I mean, holy shit, we actually just fry him. Oh my gosh. This is going to be maybe a rare Shogun's game, folks. It's not that rare, but they have triple magicals, so I think it's going to feel pretty good. Shogun's that good? That's alright now, I guess. I know we haven't really rotated, I'm just kind of sending it, but like if I'm able to get good fights here, I'm going to keep sending it here. So I'll try to rotate, obviously, but kind of take what you're given. You don't yeah, I mean, I think, like, magical defense items, they're really, really rough in this game. And I think a lot of why they are rough is because mages in general are kind of like a little bit more util-based in this game overall, and a little bit less on the burst side of things. Right, so like, it kind of would be reasonable that magical defense should be a bit weaker, but what that ends up creating is like aspects like Bacchus aspect, or even just pretty high base damage gods, like you could argue Cerberus, but Athena solo, with like the Bluestone Triton builds, and whoa, okay, shit, this is a call. And stuff like that really just become like super over bloated, especially like first two items in solo. Obviously Cab is like the biggest abuser of that. And then, you know, and then when you have a magical defense, or a magical damage god that actually does damage, like Bari, it's, or Soul or Agni Aspect, it's just like a misery, so. Yeah, I mean, they gotta add some better magical defense items, that's the point. I think, oh, let's see what we can do here. This was actually, that was a really good fire call, by the way. I know I'm kind of just like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. My bad. I know I'm kind of just like autopiloting and yapping, but we're just like 7-0. It's 14 to 15. It's a beauty. It really is. Yeah, Ansel is good sometimes. I mean, I wish it was. I don't even know if Ansel necessarily needs to be better. I just think it's like, shouldn't feel like you're forced into going it sometimes when other stuff should be better, right? We have daggers, so like, yeah, I don't really. Nice. I don't really care about this. I think we're okay. Awesome, guys. Let's go. I think Berserker Shield is decent on Bellona because you're getting prots from your passive. And, yeah, like, you could argue, like, definitely building it a little bit later would probably be a bit smarter. To be honest, I just kind of clicked on the first thing I saw that was, like, an auto attack item. If you wanted to go Pharaoh's Curse instead, like, you know, go for it, dude, you know? And you'd be fine. I don't think you're forced into building Berserkers. I think it's more so just the idea of the item. Prot's attack speed is what you should focus on more. Yeah. Alright. Well, we will, we'll go top side here. And, yeah. Alright. Shogun's gonna be done. Now, so we got a couple of choices here. Like, I think we just go Aerosbow now. I honestly probably could not finish Shoguns and go Aerosbow first. It's really easy to build when you're ahead because everything's gonna feel good. That's like an important aside, but you probably don't want to go Aerosbow last because it really is like a integral team fighting item. And I think if this game was like a little bit more me grouping and me being less of a solo agent and like duelist, which I think is a totally like fine way to play the god, I probably would have won Aerosbow even earlier. So, it's a choice. Sunbeam Bellona is, I mean, like, so, I think with their auto attack chain it feels a little bit weird, but like, I've definitely built Sunbeam Bow on this god. And it, like, the item itself is just so strong, so like, by all means you can build it. I think the only thing with Sunbeam you have to just be mindful of is like, these components can kind of suck, especially in your early lane if it goes a little bit bad. Bellona's just a volatile character. So like, if you, on a first back, or even second back maybe, like, aren't able to get Sunbeam, or like the components which are pretty pricey can be a bit dodgy. Can you go it though, and should you? Yeah, probably. I just didn't this game. Gotta have different stuff for my thumbnails, guys. Odysseus Bow in the thumbnail gives me a chance, you know, to pull new people in, or pull someone who has been ghosting my videos for a while, right? Yeah. Wait, they have an item called Gluttonous Grimoire? Oh dear. What a name. Some of the names, man. Something special. Something special. They always have some names that are like kind of wince a little bit, but I mean that's just like natural, I suppose. I like what this Vulcan's doing here, which is he's spacing, but he's also like kind of walking back to us. Oh, buddy. Okay, stop doing that. But okay, good job. It worked out. Oh shit! Imagine he just insta died. Yo, he's 1-5, but that was actually like really well done. Good job, dude. That's what I'm saying, bro. Stat line doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but like you can make a good play when your stat line's looking rough. That was a crazy Mordredal. It worked though. What a character. We want to get this tier 2 here. They're gonna go on us here. Oh shit. This is very bad. We bounce. We're good. Okay, I can fight this. Coming in, bud. Kind of. Oh my gosh. Guys, by the way, we're in like a. We're against some like, I think Sparta players. So I'm waiting, by the way, there to dash in. Not because I want my guy to die, but because he's stun bats. I probably could have pre-beads, but I forgot I had beads, so it wasn't going to work. Sorry. Unfortunate. I'm totally fine here. We just heal. Now that we're going to beat. Bye-bye. Frost got ult. Doesn't kill us. Okay, well, it can if we tank. Dude, my emoji's a beast for that. Okay, good job. We're going to get 2 Phoenixes here. Let me get the heck out. Okay, well, I'm not too pressed to get out. They're getting right as well. Holy moly. Alright, let's take it back. Alright. So we kind of did like the Fire Giant's job, so to speak, by getting the Phoenixes, but we could just go back now, get it, and then like end the game. What's important here to note is like obviously we're ahead. As a team, we're winning, blah blah blah. If you're red team here, you really have to kind of contest this fire. So we just want to like wait for this wave to go up here. Like we want the waves to like begin kind of pressing up, see the enemies on the waves, and when we see the enemies on the wave, we can do fire. Because we know we're not in a 5v5 situation. We have numbers in that spot, right? Can you link the doc? You can. I'm not going to look at it now. I'm going to do it for like a video. So I think I have it already in a server. But I'm going to like set a standalone time and do a video aside for it. Maybe tomorrow evening's video. If not, I might wait for like the official patch notes to come out. Just because I'll have the items plus the whatever balance happens, which, you know, I've made a couple of requests, I guess, for things I'd like to see. So, you know, I actually miss doing the patch notes videos where I gave like a letter grade, like a B minus, B plus, C plus, A minus, whatever the case was. I think I was pretty like fair on them, and I think I actually did a good job with those videos. I like them, so I'll do one of those when the time comes. Boys, we're just 12:04 though. This is sick. So anyways, notice we saw people on left wave, on mid wave. I wasn't really paying attention, so I forgot to mention it. But we see people not on the Fire Giant or not hovering the Fire Giant. Their best plays is to 5-man full send on fire, but they can't do that if waves are shoving their Titan, right? So we see them on the map, then we know we have numbers, and they're not going to contest, and it's all good. I get absolutely fried here, but we have Death's Toll, so it's alright. In a perfect world here, we actually let our Yemo in a little bit, because I can just Aerosbow heal her. I mean, I think she's trying to. I just fucking got shit on, so my bad. But yeah, I let someone else kind of take share the frontline responsibility with me, if not take more of it, because I can just like permanently heal them. This is why like Apollo supports and Yemoja supports even. I gotta get to him. We let them kind of link to the Soul Laner and go crazy. And we are just healing our boy. Look at our Yemo, full health still. Could I like be switching the Eros bow and doing all that stuff? Absolutely. Should I be? Yeah, probably. But it doesn't matter because we just win. So 12:06, 30-17. Great Bellona showing, and that's what we want to see, dude. Hell yeah. So we'll keep it going. Take a quick look at the stats, and what a great way to start our stream and get a YouTube video at the same time. 31.5K. Report cab and move on for playing bad. Damn, tough crowd.